So 6.8 is over sum and difference of cubes. This video will only be the first page, which is just on sums. So with difference of squares, it only worked if you had a minus sign. There wasn't a formula if there was a plus. But with the cubes, there's a formula for when you have an addition and when you have subtraction. The formulas are almost identical. Just a few of the pluses and minuses are flipped. That's it. So before we get started with the formulas, I'm going to go through and we're going to list out the perfect cubes. Because you probably don't know those, and that's fine. All right, so now we're gonna have two columns of information here. So write kind of small. Okay. So first one, we're just gonna go down the list. So the cubed root of 1 is 1. Cubed root of 8 is 2. The next one, the cubed root of 27 is 3. Make sure you're actually writing a little 3 here. If you don't put that 3, then that would mean square root. And the square root of 8 is not 2. So make sure you're putting the little 3 there. All right. Then we have the cubed root of 64 is 4. Cubed root of 125 is 5. Cubed root of 216 is 6. The cubed root of 343 is 7. Cubed root of 512 is 8. And the cubed root, we're going to go to 10, of 729 is 9. And last, the cubed root of 1000 is 10. And we could keep going on and on, but that's probably good. If you, for some reason, get a number that's not on this list, your calculator, if you go to the math, if you click the math button, and then you go down to number 4, so math, and then you go down to number 4, you can do the cubed root. So like if I type in 216, it's 6. So you can always do it in your calculator, but sometimes just having the list right beside of you is faster than to type it in. So that's the cubed roots if it's just a number. If you have a variable, so cubed root of a variable, thank you, Trinity. It's very similar to the square root. But instead of dividing by 2, what would you guess that we might divide by? Anybody? Divide by 3. Divide exponent by 3. Because you think a square root, it's like undoing squared, which is 2, an exponent of 2. And then cubes, that's an exponent of 3. So you divide by 3. So, for example, if we are doing the cubed root of x to the 9th, that's going to be x cubed, because 9 divided by 3 is 3. So I have an exponent of 3. Cubed root of x to the 6th, well, 6 divided by 3 is 2, so it's going to have an exponent of 2. The cubed root of x cubed, okay, well, if I do 3 divided by 3, that's 1, but we don't really write an exponent of 1, it's just x. If you write x to the first power, that's fine. So let's get to the formula. I don't want you to see it and think it's super hard. It's really not that hard. It's just kind of a little bit longer. All right, so the formula or the rule, if we have a cubed plus b cubed. So we have 2 perfect cubes and we're adding them together. We write it out as a plus b. First, looks real familiar right now. Looks like difference of squares. But the second part is different. It's a squared minus ab plus b squared. So every time we're going to refer back to that formula. So to find the a and the b, oh, I'm lagging there a little bit in the video. To find the a and b, you take the cubed root of each part. Okay, so let's start there. So on number 1, try to make it a little bigger for you. So on number 1, if it'll focus. Slowly, it's slowly focusing. All right, so the a, I'm going to find the cubed root of x cubed. What is that? X. Good. You wrote it right here. Hopefully you wrote it. I told you to write it. Then the b, that's the cubed root of 27. Which is 3. Not so bad. So we got enough for these two. What's going to be a little tougher is finding what we need for this second set of parentheses. So let's go and do a squared. Well, my a is x, right? So x squared is just x squared. Then the next thing in my formula is AB. So that's A times B. So x times 3. What is x times 3? 3x. Good. And then it asks for b squared. So that would be 3 squared, which is 9. Now that we have all of the parts, all we have to do is write them into the formula. So if we go to our formula, it says a plus b. So that would be x plus 3. And then it says a squared, which is x squared, minus ab, which is 3x, plus b squared, which is 9. And that's the answer. Are there any questions? As we do more examples, you'll get the hang of it. And even when we get to difference of squares, it's pretty much the same thing. So you'll get lots of practice with these. All right. Number 2, we have m cubed plus 125. So let's start with A. Make sure when you're writing the cubed root, you're putting that 3. Otherwise, when you go back to it to try some problems, you're going to think you have to find the square root. So the cubed root of m cubed is just m, or m to the first, because 3 divided by 3 is 1. Then my b, the cubed root of 125, that's 5. See if you can fill in these other parts. It's really similar to the last problem. See if you can fill those in. All right, so a squared, that's just m squared. And then ab, that's where I multiply the 2. Well, m times 5 is just 5m. And then for b squared, that's 5 squared, which is 25. And then you put it all together. You got to look at your formula to know, what to put where. So our formula says a plus b. So m plus 5. And then we have our a squared minus the ab plus our b squared. Any questions? All right, let's go to number 3. Just getting a little harder as we go. All right, number 3. Same process. Start out with our A and B. So to find the A, we take the cubed root of 125a cubed. whenever you have numbers and letters, just like we did with difference of squares, you got to find the cubed root of both parts. So the cubed root of 125, that's 5. You have it right here on your list. And then the cubed root of a cubed is just a. And then for b, we take the cubed root of 1, which is 1. All right. First thing we got to find is our a squared. So that's 5a squared. 5 squared is 25, and a squared is a squared. So 25a squared. What is 5a times 1? A times b. It's 5a times 1. 5a. Come on. And then my b squared, that's 1 squared, which is 1. And then we just put it all together in our formula. 5a plus 1. And then we have 25a squared minus ab, which is 5a plus 1. Any questions? All right, I'm going to change this next one just a little bit. Instead of having n cubed, I want that to be 343. So 27m to the 6th plus 343. And I want you to try doing this one on your own, and I'll come around and help. All right. So number 4, your a, that's the cubed root of 27m to the 6th. Well, the cubed root of 27 is 3. And then for the m to the 6th, remember you divide the exponent by 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. So m squared. Your b, cubed root of 343, which is 7. Now for your a squared, got to do 3 squared first to get 9. And then for your m's, your exponent rules, you multiply the exponents. So 9m to the 4th. Now if we multiply these two, we just multiply the numbers in front. So it's 21m squared. And then your b squared, 7 squared, is 49. So then we just put it all together. 3m squared plus 7. That's your a plus b. And then 9m to the 4th minus 21m squared plus 49. All right. Any questions? Y'all are asleep. I know it's boring. Oh, there we go. All right, number 5. I want you to scribble out the y to the 6. We're going to do it without that. Just the 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you can wait, that would be good. All right. 432. Is that on your list of perfect cubes? No, that is not a perfect cube. So that's your hint that there's probably a GCF. So what can I divide 432 and 2 by? 2. Very good. So if I divide by 2, divide everything in there by 2, we get 216, thank you, x cubed plus 1. Now, what's left in parentheses, those are perfect cubes. So we can do our A and B with what's left in the parentheses. So my A, that's the cubed root of 216x cubed, which is 6x. Make sure she signs that and you show it to me. All right. Now your b cubed, that's the cubed root of 1, which is 1. Hey, Brent. Yeah. Wakey, wakey. All right, a squared. That is 6x squared. Which is 36x squared. And then a times b, 6x times 1 is 6x. And my b squared, that's 1 squared, which is 1. So now put it all together into your formula. Any questions? All right, we got time for one more. We got plenty of time, but we're going to do one more. So number 6, see if you can try this one from start to finish. I will tell you that it does have a GCF. Oh. Y'all let me mess up. What did I forget? I forgot to put my GCF. That's big and important. That GCF, gotta write it. All right. Number 6 has a GCF. So you should have found the GCF of 2, leaving you with 8x to the 9th plus 125. And then that's where you find your A and B. So we have 2x cubed for A, 5 for B. Then your A squared is 4x to the 6th. Remember your exponent rules. When you have an exponent and an exponent kind of side by side, you multiply them. And then AB, 5 times 2 is 10. Then we still have that x cubed. And then 5 squared was 25. And then that 2, you got to write your GCF in front. And then you just fill in your formula.